Welcome back, neighbors. It's me, your neighbor,
Your
and
neighbor.
your mayor,
There you
Corey.
go. And guys, how you doing? It's me, your other mayor, Jimbo, Jim Bob, Jim Willie. I don't give a shit what you call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. Damn it. Wait,
Hi, everybody. It's your special guest over here, Snails,
he beat me
who
to it.
nobody knows.
I totally forgot you were there, dude. I'm sorry. Now,
It's okay.
Everybody here has actually seen, not seen, but met Snails before. He is actually part of that GTA race I did online where I got my ass kicked by other supercars where I could not control my shit. And I just. He's the one who did kick my ass. So now, but.
well, let's remind everybody though. You suck at playing games.
Well, I have this really now, Snails. I explained this to you before. I do believe I have a really horrible condition that it literally makes it shitty for me to play games, and it's called being stupid. And
Being stupid.
yep. And unfortunately,
Yeah,
because
it happens to me
of
too.
that disability, I can't play video games worth a damn. But I can bullshit. I can bullshit like no other. But today's episode actually is gonna be kind of a tender one to touch. Basically, what happened is somebody got hurt too deep, and we ripped the band-aid off, so now it's a little tender. So we gotta be careful with what we say. But no, actually, Mr. Snails here and I actually pretty much are kind of polar opposites when it comes to the how we grew up. See, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I grew up in a black neighborhood. My family was the only white ones there. I was one of 5 white kids in high school. Anybody who watches Mother Channel knows this. Anybody who's seen me knows this because it's unfortunately an annoying feature I keep talking about. But the coolest thing is, I've met, growing up wise, my polar opposite here. Mr. Snails, you want to explain?
Yeah, you grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Is that what I remember?
Yep.
And you're a white guy in a black neighborhood, and you had a different race than I grew up as a Hispanic black guy in a white neighborhood. So it was kind of a different take on the reverse racism thing.
And Corey here actually is kind of the cream of the sandwich kind of deal. He's neither this or that at this point right now. You're more of an Now, Corey, you want to
I'm like a Martian.
Well, Corey, this is actually a good opportunity since our neighbors don't know this. Where and how did you grow up?
Okay, so I was born into a military family. So I was actually born in the north of actually from where I'm at now, up in Pennsylvania, and then my dad was stationed at a military base in Maryland, and then we moved to southern Mississippi, almost the complete southern area of Mississippi, to where the city that I grew up in for about 6.5 years was about 90% black. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not ever saying that black people are bad. I have black friends, I have black family, I have Hispanic friends, I have, Hispanic family members married in. So, and then going from there to Indiana, and then from Indiana to Greece, was kind of a mix between everybody.
Yeah, I like
And then when I grew up the rest of the time in Indiana, and then 8 years ago I moved down here to Kentucky, where the town I live in now is like half and half. Well, I shouldn't say half and half. It's like a third of everybody. Got Hispanic, blacks, and whites.
So, living in Indiana, obviously you had a little taste of the South. What's the big difference between living in the South and living in Indiana? Like, what's the big grab there?
Well, I'll tell you this. The food is definitely different. Literally, like if you cross the Ohio River from Kentucky to Indiana, literally the food is completely different. People's attitudes are different. Like, it's bad. Like down here in Kentucky where I live, people are you've got some people that are just straight rude, and then you got the rest of them that are just, they'll give you the shirt off the back for you. Their hospitality is phenomenal. soon as you cross that river, everybody's a jackass.
See, that's the thing is that's one reason why Snails and I actually really want to have this conversation because it's a good way for us to actually explain how we grew up. Like I said, how I grew up is I grew up in pretty much in a black neighborhood. I was the only whites there. Okay, I think there was one Latino but mostly black. I've never had a problem growing up, man. It's like the whole neighborhood was family. My neighbors were going to cook out, man. We didn't even have to be invited. Be like, hey, come on over, you whenever you want. I actually just literally walked into my neighbor's house, hey, what's up, Phil, and everything. It was literally like family. I had one of the best experiences growing up. I actually enjoyed my neighborhood. I loved it. But I keep hearing people saying, oh, it's horrible, it's crappy, low income, blah, blah, blah. No, actually, it's not. A lot of the neighborhoods I grew up near and been in, dude, the whole neighborhood will actually basically defend you. As long as you defend.
You know, I never had a problem with racism. Talking about going to your neighbor and, you know, meeting with your neighbor. Down here in the South, it's you meet your neighbor, and the biggest problem is who can cook the worst crawfish. Like,
really?
Literally, it goes across the neighborhood. It was like, oh my God, did you hear that fucking John put oranges in his crawfish? I'm like, kind of. Yeah, it was terrible.
Here's the worst thing is I don't like crawfish. I can't stand them. I don't like lobster. I don't like crab. But
you don't like crawfish?
But living in Louisiana, Florida, and Georgia, man, every single one of them I will agree on one thing is crawfish gumbo is the best I have ever had. I love it. Okay, I love
it's an amazing food. I'll tell you what. If you're cold and tired, that's going to be a food that draws you in, draws a neighbor in, and just you want to fight everybody over it.
I don't know if it's the same, but when I lived in New Orleans for 6 months, there's this little mom and pop place that has some of the best deep fried chicken I have ever had. It was like $7, but you got this huge plate full, like 2 big ass fried wings and a drum, but depends which one you wanted, or you can get both, and a huge pile of Spanish rice for $7. It fed me for like 2 flipping days, man. Lunch, dinner, you know? I was like, how? I put that on vibrate.
There's a little fight over, is it worth eating it? And is it worth getting fat? I can assure you it's worth getting fat.
Now,
yes, absolutely.
Now, here's one thing.
You know what I mean?
The one thing I will admit, though, is unfortunately, the South does need to work on how they cook their fries.
What do you mean?
Oh, I have the fries that I've had in Florida, mainly. They're called they call them they're sweet potato fries. I can't stand sweet potato fries. And that's
oh my God,
sweet potato fries. Is sweet potato fries. Ugh.
Look, we're not the kind of people that are proud of our sweet potato fries. Like, okay. What a sweet potato fries is dumping sugar on top of fucking Relly's fries. That's a sweet potato fries. Okay. You know what I mean?
You can tell he's from a different place, man. He calls it Rallies when I call it Checkers.
No, I mean, it's the same company.
Same company, different place. Just like out here, it's not Hardee's. We have Carl's Jr. But
what is that?
It's Hardee's. You know what Hardee's is?
Is it the ones that serve that weird breakfast burrito?
I don't know. I never ate breakfast there, but no, this one has the golden star as its logo.
Yeah. No, I think we're talking about the same place.
Well, Rally's is Checkers. Hardee's is Carl's Jr.
But no, I'm glad that you got the Rally's Checkers thing. Over here, it's Rally's. We love our Rally's.
I love it, dude. I love Checkers.
Now,
they have some really good fries. That's what I love.
What state do you live in?
Me?
Yes.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay.
You know, the funny thing is,
yeah, I've been to Louisiana a few times in my life too, and I tell you what, my uncle, my dad's brother, used to live in New Orleans, and he used to come over about 3 times a year, since literally like we were practically right across the border from it. It was like a couple-hour drive. Well, he used to come over and see us, especially during the holidays, and like at least 1 month during the summer. I'll tell you what, here's my very first introduction to shrimp. my uncle and my dad went to a seafood barge
Oh.
and got a 30-gallon trash can, 3/4 of the way filled up with shrimp.
So you got a number one.
My dad and my uncle both picked me up by my feet and went head first.
Is there no other way to be introduced to Louisiana shrimp?
I mean,
Literally, the only other way is to get caught in a net, and when you get pulled up, we got a little roux sauce, we got a little bit of marinara. Not marinara. That's not
Why
what I'm
would
talking about.
Yeah.
you talking the
But you get pulled up, you fucking dip your feet in, and that's it.
right. But yeah, so ever since then, it's kind of weird, but ever since then, I've loved shrimp.
90% of my meals are shrimp. If I heard a nun say if God didn't want us to eat shrimp, they wouldn't have made it so goddamn delicious. And I was like, you're going to hell. And she was like, would you like me to bury your mother? It was a weird time.
It's been one weird funeral. There's one thing from the South that I've enjoyed for years in Georgia, and when I first moved out here in 2008, I couldn't find it anywhere, and that's chicken and waffles. I grew up on it in Georgia. I fell in love with it. Piccadilly, down off of, if it's still there, Memorial Drive, it has some of the best chicken and waffles I ever had. I move out here. I'm like, hey, got some chicken and waffles? What?
Right.
You know?
They looked at you like you're a little crazy.
They're like, well, waffles are sweet and chicken is salty. That don't go together. I'm like, please, it does.
I'll tell you this. I took the wife up to go see a family part of the property up in Virginia. So we left and went up to Virginia, and we didn't know how people would take us because we have a little bit of a southern accent. I feel like we talk like normal people. Except for we say y'all and get off my sister. And
she's mine.
So she's mine. I told you 3 times. She's mine. I can count. 1, 6, 3.
You forgot the 0.
No, but we went up to Virginia and we went up to the mountains. We went to the house and everything was fine. There were, we got pulled over by the police. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm fine." "Where you heading?" "Well, we heading up to the mountains." "Oh, okay. You have yourself a good time. Just want to let you know that your license plate is hanging off." "I'm so sorry." So we go up to the mountains, and wifey says, "We don't have any food, so let's go down to the Walmart, which is 3 miles away." Well, when you're on top of the mountains, 3 miles away means down the fucking mountain at 100 miles an hour with some cheap-ass fucking AutoZone brakes. So we die halfway through. We go down, we go to the to the Walmart.
Halfway through.
And look, how you doing? First person to talk to me go, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm fine. How are you?" All of a sudden, I realized they talk like us. And I was like, "Oh my God, you talk like us!" Because when I'm in front of people who are my people, I talk like a normal person because I'm online. I have the opportunity to talk to people from around the world. I talk to my neighbor, all of a sudden I'm like, "Your dog done came into my yard the other day, and I don't appreciate it when your dog comes into my yard because my dog's done meowed at them all night." So I meet people at Walmart. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" "Well, we all right. What are you looking for?" "Well, I'm down here from the south." They said, "God damn, I'm up here from the north." "No shit." "You know the Goudreaus?" "No, I don't know no Goudreaus. I know the Goudreaux." "Oh my God, y'all say X like the letter X exists."
Wait a minute, how you spell that?
It's Gauax. We say go. They say guax. and I'm okay with it. So we go into the Walmart, and they're like, what is you looking for? I said, well, we is looking for a tent to go outside and, praise Jesus and everything. Oh, you praise Jesus? Oh, good God. Yes, sir, we praise Jesus. No joke. These people are my people, but they don't have a fucking seafood section. So I was like, it's my birthday. They were like, oh, hallelujah, happy birthday. Well, thank you very much. It's my birthday, and on my birthday, I usually have a po' boy. Well, what's a po' boy? Oh, what's a po' boy? Yeah, what's a po' boy? Well, what's the name, or what do we eat? How about you give me a little bit of both? Well, I don't want to talk about the name. How about you talk about the name? Well, ma'am, we call it a po' boy because back in the day, there were kids, and they asked for food, and we gave them small bits of meat and cheese and bread, and we gave it to the po' boys. Well, what's a po' boy? Well, a po' boy is a goddamn me. It's a brown-skinned people asking for food. I'm asking you for food. God damn it. Now, do you have bread and shrimp, motherfucker, so I can have a goddamn po' boy, because I am po'? And they get really upset with me. That's a real story. So, I told them about the history of a po' boy, which is not a proud thing to say here from the South, but it's a hoagie up north, which I found out. So I asked them for a hoagie.
You know, the funny thing is, that's funny, because there was this one dude who came into the store years ago, screaming and hollering, asking where po' boy is, meats, shrimp, bread, everything. And he finally calmed down and says, hey, do y'all have po' boys? The lady looked at him and goes, for fuck's sake, why don't you say so? Yes, we do. Jim, come here!
I know it sounds retarded, but we were in Virginia and they talk like us. They have a very
You're on a
thick
channel called
accent.
Tablas Township, and you're worried about your store being retarded? Really?
I don't want to come off as overly insensitive,
There is a running joke on both my channels where I'm like, I'll be talking to people, and they'll be on my video for like a good half hour, and I'll be like, motherfucker, please, this is a PG channel. Stop the fucking cussing, no bad language, no racism, nothing. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm just staring at the hair camera going.
I got a lot of stories about racism.
Speaking of racism, the one thing I wanted to talk about earlier, but then somehow we went to this downward spiral of shrimp, po' boys, and hoagies.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, I know. That's why we let you do. According to Cinder's
Sorry.
I'm like, wow, this is actually cool. I like this. I didn't do anything except for every now and then I could have swore this damn thing was moving.
I see that thing move again. I'm whipping out the Ouija board, and we're gonna sit here with a seance.
I did a video about that thing, dude. Because the problem is, it actually does start moving on it, and I can't tell. I have to watch the video. I'm not fucking looking. I'm done.
Well, speaking of shit like that, there'll be times that me and Jim and my buddy Adrian we'll be on here just bullshitting, or we'll be recording an episode or something, and fucking Jim and Adrian will both look at me and go, "Does that fucking walk behind you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm the only one here."
Oh, that was.
If something moves behind you, I'm calling Newt's top 5.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
There was one time that got really bad. He was at his old house, and it had this dark area behind him that led to a doorway. I think it went to a hallway, wherever it was, you said. But it was me, Adrian, and Corey, and we're doing the second or third ever episode of Seriously Though, which is a thing I do on my other channel, and we saw somebody behind him, and I'm like, oh, Corey, tell your mom I said hi. And he's like, she's not home, dude. I'm at home. She's at her house. I'm like, oh, well, then tell Ashley I said hi. She's working. I'm like, whoever the fuck you have in your background dude who's over, tell him it's in plate, and because he didn't say shit when he walked by, making a joke to him. He goes, dude, I'm alone. Me, Jacob, and Adrian all went, no, you're not. He started freaking out because we saw like twice at least, I think it was, that we all saw somebody walk by behind you.
Well, and the thing is, I don't get freaked out by the paranormal, and this is actually a weird fact about me. I don't actually know if I've ever mentioned it actually on this channel. I know I have on Tabulous Gaming, but I am currently a paranormal investigator out of a group out of Indiana. We haven't done any investigations for a couple years. I joined in 2009, so I've actually been one of the head investigators of the group, and have been. And anytime, like if I go up to Indiana and they have an investigation ready, all they have to do is like they'll send me a message and be like, hey, you want to go do an investigation tonight? I'm jolly on the spot.
See, that's no fair.
So what kind of investigations? Like, I'm kind of the person that wants to get the what's it called? The spirit box.
Well, here's the funny thing. Do you know what started a spirit box? Where that came from? Tape recorders. The little recording tapes.
Well, yeah, you did your digital recorder to capture what they call EVPs. Yep. Which we use digital recorders. I tend to try to carry like trigger objects with me depending on where I'm going and what kind of trigger objects I carry. But we also use night vision cameras. We set up stationary night vision cameras, and we watch where they say the hot spots are. So we'll set the night vision cameras up, but we don't have like spirit boxes. We don't have the SLS cameras. We don't have any of that cool shit.
I kind of feel like when you set up too much, you're expecting more than you're not. And over here, it's very simple. Just go to there's a cemetery that I love to go to. It's in Mandeville, Louisiana.
We don't
sit down and
we do houses and we do commercial properties.
Well, no, there's one thing I do love about Louisiana. I actually missed that is because of the sea level they have. They have to have all their gravestones and all their cemeteries above ground, because you dig like 2 feet in the ground, depending on what part you're in, you'll hit water or moisture and stuff. And I love some of those the cemeteries I walk through, man, because some of those cathedrals or not cathedrals, what do you call them?
Mausoleum.
Thank you, mausoleums. Were some prettiest and best ones I've seen in my life. But before we get too far off the track here, is there's one thing too. It's kind of been proven about spirit voice boxes and everything. The thing is, there's somebody. There was actually, I think it was called Taps. Do you remember them? They're from
the Atlantic Paranormal Society.
No, Taps. Well, yeah.
Jason Hawes, Grant, and all them.
Well, it's only
the Atlantic Paranormal Society, Taps.
Yeah, they started on a show called Ghostbusters, but before that, they did it for themselves, and they did it to help other people. But I actually got to meet them before they started the show, thanks to a convention called DragonCon that I attended for the last almost like 25 years of my life. But what it is it's widely believed that the spirits and everything around use the ambient
the electromagnetic field.
Yeah, to actually exist or make themselves known. The more electronics you bring into it, cell phones, radios, cameras, all that interferes with them or with that atmosphere around them, and it's harder for them to actually come through. That's why a lot of times when you see like a film crew going in and they'll get like one word like dead, whatever, it's because instead of getting more, it's being reduced thanks to all the electrical equipment around you trying to capture any sign of ghost. You want to capture a sign of ghost, don't bring all the cameras, don't bring all the goddamn phones, radios, or anything. Take a voice recorder, spirit box, whatever you want to do, and a few things, and keep it to that, and that's it. If you want the best.
bring K2 meters, digital recorders, and trigger objects.
Now, I don't know if this thing works too well.
You can also bring like digital cameras, and you can also bring like the night vision cameras because they can't really feed off the night vision. But
the two things actually I do know, and I think it's some of the best things you can do is you don't need a voice box no more, or even a tape recorder. Believe it or not, if you have an Android phone, I don't know about the iPhone, but if you have an Android phone, there's a few apps that actually act as a spirit box, and it's like, I think one's called Spirit Box /DVR Recorder, So what it does is it acts as a spirit box, but it also acts as your tape recorder, recording everything, including ambient sound and everything. And it uses a barometer to measure the temperature too, just in case if there's sudden temperature drops or anything like that.
Now, see, I'm going to show you this, and I know a lot of people probably when they see this video, they're going to
go, the last time you said that, I could not post a fucking video.
Shut the fuck up. No, I have this.
What? Is that your
Can't hear
special
you,
loop?
This is holy water. No, this literally sat in the Roman Catholic Church for a month and was blessed by the priest.
What were you doing in any part of your life where you think you actually need holy water? If you're
when I went,
anything that requires holy water, you should not be doing it, dude.
When I went to an investigation, we went to a place. I'm not going to mention the city or anything, but we called the place Hell. There were multiple shaman, spirits and all that, and a lot of spiritual like energies and all that were out on this property.
Dude,
well, every time
boring, you just killed freaking snails.
But every time we went there, we always had people that had they had attachments.
Okay.
So hence the reason that I have holy water. I actually have two of these. I have one both of them sit in my bedroom, in my nightstand drawer, just in case I need it. But I have used this one a little bit. You can't really tell, but like with my light, but it's actually down low. It is about like right here where my finger's at.
Dude, on the camera you can't even see the level at all. It just looked bright white.
Yeah, it's because of my light. Let me turn my light off.
Snails, are you okay?
Keep that on.
Because we're having a hard time hearing you again, buddy. Yep, we can't hear
there you go. There you go. There's a level.
I think we killed Snails, or Snails' voice gone bye-bye because we can't hear him no more.
His voice box gave out.
I wonder if it's his cord. I think it's honestly his headset. Like, it works perfect some places, then all of a sudden just dead.
It's probably because the wires are frayed in it.
Mic check.
Hey!
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 Dude, you need to stop using your freaking mic, dude. Holy crap. I understand.
It is terrible. Remember, it's a $5 microphone.
Yeah, I already said I was jealous of your Five Below, but I'm not jealous of that Five Below junk. Sometimes.
I do apologize. Hang on.
You finally working and you're back to
I'm
normal.
sitting like a fat person. I just sit on my own. I don't like it.
I don't mean to laugh, dude. I'm sorry, but you're like, I love that. I feel like I'm sitting like a fat person, all of a sudden you knock your camera over. I mean,
oh, it's terrible. Hang on. I'm sorry. I was trying to be quiet.
I can make him one.
Why do you want to be quiet? We're actually having a discussion, which the reason why I brought you on so you talk, not be quiet. You know.
Don't move.
Oh, it's moving. It's moving. It's gonna dump.
No, Snails.
Nope.
It's gonna dump.
Snails,
Here it goes.
Is that thing moving again? Now, my audience knows this. Corey knows this. That thing actually here is called Starfire. It's a puppet I had that was handmade for me on my 13th birthday. Okay, he's old, but he's also a puppet. I'm actually controlling him. He actually can move his head.
He's adorable.
Yeah, he's designed to sit.
Now he's adorable.
Now he's adorable. Say hi, Starfire.
Well, now that I know that he's not controlled by the demon ghost, you know what I mean?
No, he's actually. I use him a lot of times as a spirit in my videos because I can move him without nobody knowing. And he has a little friend named Clear Eyes. There's a little bat that does the same thing.
Oh my God! Don't show that to my wife.
She'll figure out if she likes him.
Oh, she'll love it.
Show it to her then. This little guy
No,
here,
because then I have to buy it off of you.
You can't. These things are no longer made. So these guys, you cannot get made anymore by the company I work for, at least. And I looked into it. There's nothing like this guy out there. And so I take care of him like tremendously because if anything on them breaks, I can't have it fixed anymore. They're both made of clay and fur. That's it.
What if I show you a real haunted doll? No, what if I show you a real haunted doll?
Show me. And if you say Annabelle, I'm gonna be really pissed.
No.
So I got an idea.
Hang on.
Snails,
Hang on.
Hold on, Snails. We are actually out of time. This one here has gone on. So guys, if you really enjoy watching this, what I want to do is intrigue you to actually come back next week for next week's episode. Because this conversation I actually enjoyed. It started out about racism, and race and the difference between us and everything, which we're still going into that. But in our own, but just like always, we have derailed the train and went somewhere else with it. But the conversation
Yeah.
has always had somebody's attention at some time. So if you enjoyed this video, which I hope you do, come back next week to see the conclusion of what's going to happen here soon. If he has a true to life actual haunted doll, that's something actually I do want to see because I'm curious what he thinks is a haunted doll. Now,
I
Corey,
can assure you,
Corey,
it's a haunted doll. Now, wifey doesn't like me to pull him out,
well,
and I'll walk you over to him if you want.
oh, we will in the next episode. Everybody out there, I'm so happy that you guys actually joined us this episode. I hope you enjoyed. As always, guys, this neighborhood is your neighborhood as well. You guys are always part of the family. So that being said, guys, welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome to the neighborhood.